Paul Matthews, played by Nic Cage, is a rather forgettable and average family man and a professor of biology who's always had an idea for a book on his theories, but never seemed to get around to writing it. However, when he suddenly begins appearing in the dreams of people around him and farther afield, he becomes an overnight celebrity. In the dreams, he appears as a bystander, watching but not acting on the events of the dreams themselves. As his fame grows, he finds his personal life under threat, and soon his dream self changes, becoming more menacing and sinister. Genuinely amusing, whilst also traversing into darker territory with deafness, Dream Scenario is a perfect fit for Cage, with him adopting a similar slouched humbleness as he did when he portrayed Charlie Kaufman in Adaptation. His character Paul is a seemingly happy man, mostly content with his life, but he harbours a grudge against old friends who've gone on to success in publishing, especially as he feels that they used his ideas to get to their fame. The film's trajectory plays into Paul's desires for fame and jealousy of others, with the dream self starting to get more and more sinister as Paul's frustrations start to build. Cage not only sells the real-life Paul with a stooped, reserved demeanour, but taps into the crazy Cage for the dream visions later in the film, where the actor simply seems to be having fun. Writer-director Christopher Bogill crafts a smart, funny, and wonderfully weird film, which serves as an allegory of the experience of fame, how a quick rise to popularity can swiftly turn the other way when darker secrets are exposed, as well as the fickle nature of pop culture and internet celebrity. The dream sequences are witty, inventive, and positively disturbing in some cases. Ari Aster served as one of the producers on the film, and you can detect a hint of his input, whilst never feeling the complete shadow of it takes away from Borgill's creativity. Dream Scenario is another A24 release that serves to give me more reason to continue to seek out their content, and it's a fierce contender to be on my top films of 2023 list at the end of the year. With a great cast, a bizarre concept, and a scene that goes to prove that the fart gag will never get old, this was a dream of a film. Novelist Sandra Voita is being interviewed at her home, but she has to cut it short due to her husband Samuel, played by Samuel Theus, playing loud music on repeat from an upper room, seemingly deliberately to disturb the interview and embarrass Sandra. The interviewer leaves, Sandra proceeds upstairs, whilst their partially blind son, Daniel, played by Milo Machado Grana, goes for a walk. When Daniel returns, he discovers his father's body lying outside in the snow, seemingly fallen from an upper window. As the investigation into the death is undertaken, the finger of suspicion is pointing at Sandra, but the truth of whether she killed him or not will rely on the witness testimony of their blind son. Running at 152 minutes, it could be argued that on surface level, that's perhaps too long for what is basically just a courtroom drama for the majority of the time. However, by the midpoint of the film, I found that the tale became less about the events of the investigation and trial. I was no longer concerned with what the final judge ruling would be, but more about how the events impact upon the personal lives of Sandra and Daniel. The film certainly plays out to make you come to your own conclusions about the events that led to Samuel's death, much in the same way that internet commenters make their own minds up on the facts of real-life trials and won't believe otherwise. Playing beautifully into this, the courtroom scenes, sometimes heated and fiery, provide us evidence, but every submission has an order of doubt to it, and the line remains blurred as to the true events of the day. Daniel's testimony, key to the outcome, will be viewed differently depending on whether you, as a viewer, believe Sandra is guilty or innocent, and the level of ambiguity at the close of the film will surely prompt some post-film discussion. Well directed by Justine Triet, the film paces well, with the flashbacks of memory as evidence is uncovered, sometimes playing out debunked scenarios, all working well to unravel the investigation process, and the courtroom scenes feel intense and hard on Sandra. The prosecutor is played angrily and condescendingly by Antoine Reinhardt to perhaps manipulate us into siding with the accused a little more. A smart decision is made by Triet to have Sandra speak 3 languages: her native German tongue, the couple's agreed universal language English, and her deceased partner's language French, which further serves to make it hard to truly discern who she is as a person, seemingly switching languages in what could be seen as a way to cover up difficult facts. I went into Anatomy of a Fall expecting a murder mystery, but ended up with a complex, tense, and satisfying family drama that still asks questions long after the credits roll.